Do you need a magnifying distance camera to view a presentation or a whiteboard? Would you like something discreet yet powerful? How about something that'll work with a computer or tablet that you already have? Well, stick around for a full overview of the brand new LookyBot robotic distance camera.
Welcome to Irie-AT, Braille and Innovation.
Let's take a look at what comes in the box with the LookyBot. First of all, you have the LookyBot robotic camera itself. You also have a convenient carry case, protective carry case to carry it around. It has a neat removable back panel, stay on there and not fall off, that allows you to put the antennas through there so you can have the antennas on it if you want to carry it around and have it already set up. Maybe even just open this and use it in the case. Kind of a lot of options. Nice little case. You've got two antennas, one for incoming, one for outgoing Wi-Fi. You've got your power cord for charging the battery. Got a dust cover the lens on that when you're not using it. You also got a convenient remote control, one of the many ways to operate the LookyBot. To get started, let's take the dust cover off the device and you can charge the battery. Make sure you charge that fully and then you'll get about 5 hours of continuous use out of it. You're going to want to put on the Wi-Fi antennas. You can just screw those onto the back of the device. Pretty easy to do. Screw those on. And now those will swivel around. To charge the device, you're going to plug it into the USB-C port right on the back of it there. You also have a couple other ports on here. You can plug in a network directly if you don't want to use the wireless antenna to reach Wi-Fi. You have an SD card slot for storing videos and images. And I think that's about it. Well, on-off switch, that'll be useful. So we got LookyBot all set up and ready to go. Now let's connect it with our device. I'm going to be using the iPad to connect to LookyBot. You can use a Windows computer, or Android, Chromebook, whatever, anything that has an internet browser you can use to connect to LookyBot. So I'll turn on LookyBot. It does a little routine and kind of tests the camera in and out and zips around. And then it's ready to go when the green light is on the front of it. I'm going to now press in my settings, go to Wi-Fi networks, and it should show up LookyBot 002. Now I can still do pass-through Wi-Fi. So it's important to know this will connect to Wi-Fi. So even though you're using your Wi-Fi on your device to connect to it, it'll pass through so you still have a wireless connection to the internet outside of just connecting to the LookyBot. Now all I have to do is go to any browser. I can use Safari or I can use Chrome or whatever. I'm going to go to my browser and I will put in 192.168.50.1 and enter. And then that brings me right into LookyBot. Here we are, we're looking at LookyBot. I'm going to turn it around and see it swinging around there. And then we'll look over at the other side of the room here. I have a nice little page on the wall. If I want to zoom in using the LookyBot, I have some options. First of all, I can just use the touchscreen on my device. I can zoom in, zoom out. Goes out quite a ways. I've got a 20x optical camera on this, so I can really zoom in. I've got a 12-point font on the wall over there, and I'm going to zoom in to the point that you really can actually read it. I mean, this is like a tiny little thing on the wall over there, and it's perfect in here. Now, if I want to change the contrast and see it more clearly, I can have a number of different options in here to do that and fine-tune it how I want. All right, so I'm going to get the contrast that I love and go out of that screen. I'll make this, yeah, I'm not going to make it bigger there, but I can even zoom in more on the iPad itself, which is kind of cool. So to move the camera, you don't have to touch it physically. It's robotic. It'll work with a keyboard, a tablet command on touchscreen, or with a remote control, which I'll show you later on. So for now, I'm going to use the tablet controls. I just tap the navigation one, and then I can move the camera back, forth, up and down. I can move it diagonal. I can do all kinds of things with this camera. Let me get back into a color though, so it You can maybe perhaps see what I'm doing. So now move there, move up, move down. It's pretty simple to move around. And then once I find what I want, I can zoom in on it. But usually you're kind of looking at a few different preset locations. So it gives you on the tablet interface 3 different preset locations, and then on the remote you get like 10 different preset locations. So I'll show you how that works. I'm going to preset location on this sheet over here, how I want. I'm going to go to option 3. It gives you a chance to edit or cancel out of that. So then I'm going to zoom in. Let's see, I want to zoom in so that I can see this lovely sheet of paper and read it, which I can almost do at this point, but the point is to show you the preset. So now I've got the preset set on this particular spot, and now let me zoom away from that. I'll move away, I'll zoom out, just give a different camera position. Okay, so here, why don't we look over there? We'll look at the plant and stuff. All right, so now, okay, professor's back. I want to see the front of the classroom. I'm just going to hit the preset thing on there. Boom. Goes in, zooms in, exactly the magnification I had, exactly the place I had it. Super cool using the presets. You get 3 of those on the tablet interface, and you get 10 of them on the remote control. So now if I want to OCR the image that I'm zoomed in on this text up on the wall there, first I need to connect to the Wi-Fi network. So this will allow me to connect the LookyBot to the Wi-Fi so that I can connect to the LookyBot and see through it, but then also get internet through the device. On the main panel here, I have a little wheel that is the settings wheel. I go to the Wi-Fi 2.4G, and I find a 2.4G network. I click on it, which I've already done here. You'd click on it, put in the password, and then you're connected to that network. So I'm connected to the Irie-AT 2.4 network. And now I've got internet, so I can go on my browser, go to different web pages, whatever, and I can also OCR with the unit. So let's do the OCR. And that is going to capture this text. And what it does first is it actually captures it and it makes it computer text, which is cool because then you can actually zoom in as far as you want. If you want to try to read with your usable vision, you can zoom in and there's no restriction on resolution. You can make it huge and you get perfect resolution. So after it captures it, I get this great clear computer text. I can just zoom in, make it as big as I want, and not lose any resolution. If I want to hear it, then I'll just hit the play button. And
LookyBot is a super powerful distance camera that is perfect for the classroom. It is light and portable, wire-free, and LookyBot will work with any device that has an internet browser, including iPad and Chromebook.
if you want it to read along and not speak to you, but still guide you in its reading, you can turn off the speech and then do the same thing. It'll still guide you, but it won't speak aloud. And again, I can keep making that bigger and bigger. If I want it to speak again, I'll just press the speech button.
Different.
And get to the end of my document. Let's press play again.
LookyBot is a super powerful distance camera that is perfect.
See, mute off, just guiding me. Now I'll turn it back on with sound.
LookyBot will work with any device that has an
You can also change the contrast in here. So however you prefer to view, you can make that change. I like the white on black. So if I want to OCR in the desk, you can add a simple solution. I mean, you can actually just put the paper in front of you and point at it, but I like to get it up a little bit higher, so I bought this cheap, I think $40 stand off of Amazon. It does a really good job, and it goes way up, so if you really needed to get above people's heads, you could clamp this to a table somewhere else, but if you happen to want to clamp it at your desk and use it for OCR, it's real simple to do that. So let's try that. So first of all, let's zoom out a bit. I'm going to point down at this table here. So I have a paper here. You can get a stand or something, but I mean, I can just hold this up, and this guy is so accurate that it'll scan this thing just right out of my hand, no problem. I'll just hold it up. There we go. did pick up the entire thing, and look, it looks like perfect. I want to play it.
Economic Development Chamber emphasizes.
You can pause and play with the play button, but you can also just start reading wherever you want. All you have to do is double tap on a word. So I'll do that, and we'll start reading from that spot.
CEO Tracy Meese, who is finishing up her first year running the organization. We offer consistent networking opportunities that help our members form meaningful relationships.
So, and that's how you can read very easily at your desk. Just hold it up and read away. You can use the stand if you want to get height, or just use it on your desk. There's also a remote control for using your LookyBot. You've got a pretty much TV looking remote control. Not all the buttons work on this. Some are saved by the manufacturer for later functions. So I'll just show you the ones that do things and how they work. So first of all, you have a standby and come back to life button. I'm going to hold that down for 3 seconds, and then see the LookyBot go into sleep mode. Do the same thing. I can hold that down for 3 seconds, and comes back out and joins the world again. If I want to set or use a preset, that's what the 1 through 9, or yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So you have 10 different presets that you can use there. I'm gonna press the kind of joystick, if you wanna call it, thing, and that is gonna allow me to turn the camera, and I'll get that background over here somewhere. There's my writing on the wall. Go look at the shelf a little bit. So that's how you can move it around using this, this keypad here. And then there's some different settings on the outside of the keypad that you might want to use. One is to set a preset. So let's do, oh, this is a good preset. We'll zoom in. There's also a zoom. I'll zoom in, look at that thing over here. And now I can set, I'll press set preset and 2. Okay, so now if I go somewhere else and I zoom out, then all I have to do is press 2, and boom, I'm zoomed back into that preset. So it makes it really easy if you have a few different places in the room you want to see. You just press that button and zoom, you're there, and you can find it quite easily at the magnification that you've chosen. You also have a focus on here. If you get off of autofocus, which you can do in the settings, I'll show you later how to do that, then this can allow you to adjust your focus manually. Then you also have a clear preset, which you do the same thing. You press clear and then the preset you want to clear, and that'll clear it up so you can put another one there. And really that's the majority of the useful buttons that you're going to find on the remote control. Other things that we have on the menu here, besides the preset, we have also a camera icon. And what that is going to do is that's going to allow us to take a picture or take a video of what we're doing. And if I press it and I press the picture one, which just looks like a shutter, then it gives me some options here. I can zoom in, I can do things before I take the picture, I can OCR what I like, and I can also just download that picture. And that will go either to the SD card that's on the device or to your internal memory. So then if I want to take a video, this is always going to go to the SD card. So you do need a micro SD card that you stick in the back of the LookyBot, and then you can record video, and you just press record, and it will record until you're ready to stop, and you then stop it. And that'll be all on the SD card. You can pull that out and put it on your computer or transfer it, whatever you want to do. The next button over, if we're going from left to right, is the contrast. That will allow me in any number of choice of contrasts. Of course, this is more of a color view one, so I'll put it back on that. And you can control how many of those there are in the settings. Then moving over, these are my screen controls so that I can move the device, move the camera where I want to move it. And to the right of that, I have plus and minus, which will control my magnification, control my zoom. Then I have OCR, which there's nothing to OCR, but I showed you how that works earlier. And then finally we have settings. So let me open that up. We have 4 different areas of settings. We have our device, which allows us, we can do large icons, we can do medium icons, we can do small ones, depending on how well we see them, how much screen space we want to take up. We have different language options in here, different OCR language options. You can choose to have audio feedback for what you're doing or have it off like me. You have a bunch of different UI themes. I have it set to white on black, or sorry, black on white. You can also do white on black, do yellow on black, do the Rehan purple and white, and the default should be the black on white, real high contrast for you. Then my image storage, I can choose if I want to have my images stored on the PC or on the SD card. And then, like I said, the video is always going to be on the SD card, but I can choose that in the settings. Then I have Wi-Fi settings if I want to change my Wi-Fi password, something like that. I have the micro SD card gallery, so I can get to those things that I saved. Let's see. That's a pretty exciting video that I saved earlier, but you can get to those directly from the program and see what you captured, and then transfer those to your computer later. You can restore your defaults. You can refresh the whole device so it reconnects back into the LookyBot. You have an option to upgrade it. If there's upgrades available, that'll download and upgrade your device. You have the user manual on the device. Real handy. Anything you want to know, it's right there in the user manual. And then it gives you the version number so you know where you are. Next one over is the camera settings. Here's where I can choose my auto or my lock focus if I want to lock on something. And then I can do a manual focus adjust with a remote control. The camera rotation speed, I set it on fast. I like it zipping around, but maybe it's too fast for you. You can adjust that to medium or slow. The frequency in the US is 60 hertz, so I have it set to that. In Europe and other places, you're going to want to set it to 50 hertz, and then you won't get blinking and that kind of stuff. Preset angles. This is when I'm on the device, I have 3 different options. One is straight ahead, and you can't really change that one. So then you really have 2 others that you can choose, perhaps one OCRing at your desk, one going out to the presentation, or there's 2 presentation spaces, and you just click which one you want, and then whenever you click the button to go to that preset, it'll go to the one that you've designated here. Then I've got video as my next tab. Here's where those contrast colors, if I don't want a whole bunch of options, I just want the few that I use, I can turn those on and off in here and have them show up or not. I can also adjust my brightness and my contrast right in here, and I can choose if I want to have a reading line on or not. If you're doing some reading, you might want to have that on. Next one over is my Wi-Fi. We looked at that one earlier. This is simply where my list of Wi-Fi networks, I can connect into different ones if I want to change that right here in this setting. Make sure to subscribe to Irie-AT's social media for more great videos and tutorials on the latest in Braille and low vision products.